ReZero really was a fun ride. Though Season 2 didn't have the same amount of disaster, suffering, broken bones, general discomfort as the first season. It had a lot more character growth. We had Amelia coming out of her shell, and a lot more interaction with the witches and what's going on there. If it continues with another season, things are looking good. But I knew I couldn't just leave it here because there are a few little chibi OVA type things. I remember doing the ones for Season 1, so I missed out on Season 2. Hey, Otto. Are we going to see Otto's diary? I wonder if Otto's diary itself is going to reach the same kind of status as those books of the future. Tomes of wisdom. Sometimes it's not worth thinking about, is it? If you don't like feeling like you might die soon, you might want to stay away from Subaru. Yep, a life or death situation like that really does accelerate how close you are. Must be it, Otto, must be it. Would Otto or anyone else accept Subaru if he told him that, well, except that Subaru was telling the truth? I say, if he says that he's come from a different world. Dai Piero. Knowing that further along down the line, Roswell doesn't even know who Otto is. At some point, probably. Otto is best girl. Some of his reactions. I think keeping a diary like that would be quite easy to tell when Subaru has funny moments or turns. I'm not sure that Roswell is a single-celled organism. Still going on with Otto's diary. Is the whole thing going to be Otto? I'm not going to complain if it is. He already had to swallow his fear and go meet the master. Really had no choice, did he? She just won't stop talking about him. Hey, Petra? How does she get in without making a noise? She has got the whole formality routine down. Don't give her ideas now. Otto, what have you done? Yeah, why does Otto just not stay away for his own safety? But I'm glad that he did go along because Otto was fundamental in giving a kick up Subaru's ass when he needed it. But she is very reliable. How does that help? But yeah, humble. Very sure of herself. There's a lot of characters who hold that same kind of outlook. Otto. How does Subaru just contain that sort of energy all the time? The way she was saying his name, just reminds me of a certain wandering ghost from Monogatari. Well, I'd rather be there than well in the sanctuary, in the graveyard. At least it looks comfortable there. Sure you did, Otto. Does he have that little of a presence? Isn't he trying to avoid him as much as possible? But all in good time. No need to rush things. You got to abide by whatever Ram says. And if you want to immediately get through to Garfield, well, back then. Eh? Just say that Ram said something. Well, how would you ever know? But it's just passing differences. I mean, it's so. He's not allowed mirrors. Oh, thanks for that translating note. At least they're not lying, so I have no idea. I've never heard that saying. I mean, there probably are just old sayings like that, which makes no sense to Petra's diary this time. Should we be amazed that a child of her age knows how to read and write in this world? yeah, Subaru had to learn how to do it all when he first came here, didn't he? He didn't write that bit though. Gotta get the honorifics correct. I have no idea. Ah, you must be bitches. Eh? Don't don't confuse the poor girl. She doesn't realise that he's talking about hair. Oh god, the snow sculptures. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sagi. Entirely deserved. Why didn't Subaru just make his own? Do 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 do. She's powered up. Seems like it would be a character straight out of Fate. I liked how she actually had to rewrite part of the sentence there. We can't have a full one without Otto. Otto's diary. Get it right. Has the colour of the seat changed? He's so freewheeling, isn't he? He's like, oh, did we have plans? They are so suited to each other. And out of everyone here, I think having Petra guard you might be the best option. And other than it being Otto, is there a reason why it focuses so much on him? Was she cordial with him before? He's counting his inventory. He is a merchant, even though he hasn't done many merchant activities. I count 3 sacks and a box. What a segue into talking about that. I thought if we were about to get some exposition on the witch and how the world was brought into despair, and a lot of that in this kind of episode. tired Otto. uh, why? Is Subaru really like 5 years old? No, he got it off though. Is he going to write in his diary how he punched Subaru in the face? Hmm. Yeah, Otto really didn't need to be involved in all of this. But we're friends, aren't we? Maybe Otto just doesn't want to be alone. I mean, a scathing retort, but yes, potentially. Subaru has an issue understanding personal space when it comes to his friends. Hmm. Well, he can do a little things here and there. Not entirely wrong though. We saw what happened when he stood up to Garfield before, but Otto's ability to what was it, talk to animals and the world, etc. Has that actually come into play at any point, and we just haven't been told? When he's a crying mess on the floor, that's when they'll stop. And wipe yourself down afterwards. Where did Subaru obtain that little child's potty thing? Even for a joke, that's a bit going too far. And for a silly little chipified version of ReZero, the animation in this is still pretty good, and the expressions that they have. Always so confrontational. Are you preparing for a grandiose speech? Mm-hmm. Wow, Otto being serious and forefront and loud. Okay, I'll just have to agree with you on that. I can't remember what that little stone thing is. Do they have watches or anything to be able to tell the time, or are they having to go off the position of the sun? Otto, stay away from the ledge, it's dangerous! Watch your language. And after that moment, poor Otto. Made a new friend. Good talk. Okay, Petra, what have you got for us now? At least she's got nice words to say about her attempts. What would Rem or Ram think about this? Probably did a better work than Subaru did at the beginning. Nope. You might want to keep that bit out of the interview. Well, I see you already know the insides. The animation of her actually recoiling. Why has this got better animation than some other shows I've watched? I don't think age is really a barrier for discipline. Well, being able to repair your own uniform and everything is a valued skill. Which could cause some conflict with her doing her job, but we all know how this goes down because she is a maid. And that will be made quite clear in the future, isn't it? She has conviction. And that's how you hired child labour. Poetic. Who's that voice? Okay. It's been a while since we encountered the other sides of the people in this. They've all gone their own way and done their own things since the whale. Hopefully, at least. Cool, there's not just loose paper that is going to be rearranged. Is this another diary? As all good stories should. It wraps round and back to Otto. A reasonable request, but denied. Yeah, we just give him more reason to want to be untied, no? I don't see how writing about Otto's embarrassment there is exactly helping. I hadn't exactly forgotten about her, but has everyone been captured at least once? It's fun that they're having such a familial conversation amongst themselves. Can you just go and adopt everyone that get captured along the way? I was just having trouble keeping up with those. That Mimi. Jesus. It would be tiresome having to listen to that all day. So go straight to sleep. So you have a full day's work tomorrow. She's not reading you a story. Long time for who? In the terms of the world or as a child? They had. She remembers 2 years ago? But anyone else around? It's not surprising that she had forgotten such a mundane conversation. Now, how could she forget such kind words? I know that this village is meant to be under the protection of Roswell and the mansion and its inhabitants. You're laying it on a bit thick now, Petra. If you're trying to kill her, Petra, you're on the right lines. Is that the same line that... I don't remember conversations I had last week. What, you're... It really is expanding on Frederica as a character, isn't it? Oh. I'm not sure Elsa quite converts over. Is she cutting herself there? To this chibi form. And then it's slowly healing. Not staying in the best of accommodations. Right. Since we've seen the ending of the second second part of the second season, that's a interesting line. Subaru and Def are old friends. So this is in one of the kind of abandoned timelines. I mean, doing braids isn't too hard. What brought that on? She just has a habit. Something you can just kind of have to accept. Well, she's going to let this one slide, is she? I guess she's lucky. You always have to watch yourself when you're an acquaintance of Elsa. Hmm. The one who doesn't see death as an ending because it's just part of fate, isn't it? Also, who uses poison perfume? Well, Elsa apparently. We are learning so much about her character and her interests. I mean, she grew up kind of separated from her brother, so. Why was there radio static? Yeah, you can't really draw any conclusions with Rem, though. Straight to the door. Please come in. Is it though? Not Badisu? Did she get enlightened on that point? Ah. Please, yes. Give a bit of example of your rural tongue. Was she overly Well, you have to have to try now, don't you? We don't really understand the implications there, since we're not getting we don't have the history of the language, but I'm sure that's hilarious. She didn't need much convincing. The sound of blissful sleep. Yep, that is exactly what's going on. I hope that I don't talk in my sleep, and especially not old Shakespearean English. We're ending off this part with another Otto's diary. Hopefully Petra can rest up a bit and heal those injuries. Just punch him again. Well, I guess he's not technically, but Subaru is building a group of people who seem really reliant on him. His improv is exceptional. Otto's not going to understand any of this. Subaru, why don't you invent the internet and computers and emails? Maybe even electricity. And what does the future hold for Otto? Huh? Ah, yes. Immediately stop in the middle of the conversation. Just, I remembered something. He knows you better than you know yourself through various iterations. Oh, he's just leaving the conversation. Subaru, you made things weird. Subaru listens to a lot more than he gets credit for. If Petra ever stops wanting to spend the night with Frederica, is she going to feel distressed and alone? And if and when we get Rem to rejoin the folds of the Maids, is there going to be enough work to go around? Rem basically single-handedly did it all back in Season 1. Ram was pretty useless. Subaru was Subaru. And I don't believe there was any other help just rolling around. But watching all of these in retrospect, knowing that, well, we've finished the season, now we can go back and see what the character's thinking in that moment. It added a bit to some of the conversations. I do like how a lot of the focus on these were characters that we got to know, but they didn't have the greatest of spotlights. Petra, Frederica, Otto. But I think all of these were pretty grounded in the realms of what happens during the actual show, whereas if I remember, the first season BreakTime had them like out in conventions and whatnot. I miss that kind of out of place moments. If you enjoyed this one, let me know. There's some more, because this is the first half of season 2, so try and be a good child, get to bed early, don't make too much noise because people are trying to sleep. See you in the next one. If you want to be more than just a footnote in the diary to my channel, then consider joining on to my Patreon. Because Sal, Raywin, Electricant, Arthea, Shiwan, Mecha, Jennifer Rojas, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Mads, Rasmus Poulsen, Girly, Dark Shadow 7899 and everyone else will probably be remembered fondly, but I don't intend on letting anyone read it.